Carolina Panthers are 2-5, and the Atlanta Falcons come in 3-4 NFL Week 8. Welcome to Atlanta, the place where Olympians have cashed in memorable performances for gold medals, the place where the king of soft drinks quenches America's thirst, and the place where another king defied the odds to help achieve the goal of building a better nation, and much more. This week, the Panthers' future rests on the shoulders of a man who defied all odds and fought his way back into the starting lineup after many thought he wouldn't even remain on the roster to start the 2022 season. But due to some untimely injuries in the Panthers' quarterback room to Sam Darnold and rookie Matt Corral, P.J. Walker sits atop the throne for another week as the Panthers can possibly move into first place in the NFC South Division with a win over the Falcons. Welcome to the Carolina Football Report on ADSN right here in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. You know the energy's been all through the roof in Charlotte as of late. The Panthers have really played well, but they're going to face a Falcons team that seems to reinvent itself with every matchup. Atlanta leads the all-time series 34-20, but the last time both teams met back in December, Cam Newton was at the helm, and despite finding the end zone and sparking the crowd, he racked up 2 key turnovers in his third straight loss. P.J. Walker replaced Cam twice and was 6 for 12 with 75 yards, a touchdown and interception. The Panthers finished a disappointing 5-12 season. Today's divisional matchup will certainly be a dogfight because of what's at stake. Let's check in with ADSN's Kevin Casey on key injury updates and who will be left standing.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's a media availability today, but you had told me earlier in the season, like maybe even last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, that the Carolina Panthers, with a win at Atlanta, will be in first place. The division is in an uproar. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Falcons are 3-4. Carolina and the Saints are 2-5 now, so they're basically just one game back. And that with a win, they get, because they have the tiebreakers. They beat the Buccaneers and the Saints, and if they beat the Falcons, they would be 3-0 in the division and own the tiebreakers against everyone else. So this is a very important game for the Carolina Panthers, and that fact is not lost on interim head coach Steve Wilks. He says this is going to be a very tough matchup because it's a division game.
As we sit here and we play different opponents within our division, I think you go back and you tap into the past and the success we had, the competition, the rival, and then you also build up to where we are right now and showing these guys their success that they've had in the past. So this division has always been a tough division. It's going to be a very hard-fought, tough game on Saturday. Those guys are going to come prepared and ready to play. And we've been talking about being physical because it's going to be that kind of game.
All right, well, Coach Wilks knows the value of this matchup. First place on the line, division game. Your injury report has Chuba Hubbard out for the Carolina Panthers against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. Also, the Golden Greek Matt Ioannidis out of concussion protocol. He's a full participant at practice today. He'd look for him to go on Sunday. But no matter what, D'Onta Foreman, who had 100 yards last weekend, he and Chuba Hubbard combined for over 200 yards, all-purpose yardage over the weekend. D'Onta Foreman knows that we may have a lot of guys injured, but there's still plenty of guys that are willing to compete and will make a difference.
It's always exciting to play well, you know what I mean? I feel like each and every guy, we all strive to go play well and play, to the best of our ability. So being able to do that was great, but I think what I was most proud about, most excited about was just seeing the guys happy and excited and being able to pull out a win. Every guy in this locker room has been preparing hard and just, going out each and every week, just preparing and just doing the right things, and we just haven't been able to find a way to get the wins that we wanted. So be able to get that win, man, and just see everybody happy and just the love and everything that was going on in the locker room after the game, man, was great. So I just want to keep that up, man, and just be able to feel that each and every week. Sometimes I feel like, these guys might not want to tackle me, after a certain point in the game. So I just try to, use that to my advantage. But, at the end of the day, I know they're going to play hard on both sides of the ball. So, I'm just, I'm going to just match the intensity and do what I can do.
All right, so Deontay Foreman says there's plenty of guys that are still ready to compete and win. It's a big division game, and I can tell you from being in the Carolina Panther locker room last week, these players are behind Coach Steve Wilks. They like his attitude. They like the fact that it's a professional atmosphere. It's not a college atmosphere. A lot of injuries for both teams. In fact, the Atlanta Falcons are getting hit in the secondary. A.J. Terrell, a hamstring injury. Safety Jalen Hawkins is in concussion protocol. He's already out. Darren Hall will take Hayward's spot on the outside. So the Falcons are hurt in the secondary, but they're going to be loading the box. They don't respect P.J. Walker. They think that if the Carolina Panthers are going to win, they're going to have to throw the ball. They have confidence in P.J. Walker. He's not going to wow you. Steve Wilks really impressed upon him. No turnovers. It's better to punt than throw an interception. And the injury bug really still having an impact on the Carolina Panthers. Pat Eflin, the starting center going into the year, he's having a hip procedure. He's going on IR, season-ending IR. And Bradley Bozeman, who started and did very well this past weekend, he's a former starter with the Ravens. He filled in this weekend against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, did an excellent job. He'll start the remainder of the season. Jeremy Chin, this will be his last week on IR with a hamstring matter. So the Carolina Panthers, you know, a few weeks ago, you never would have thought that, especially with trades with Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey, the two worst contracts on the team, they're gone. And maybe it's better chemistry in the locker room with Steve Wilks and whoever is on the roster now. The Carolina Panthers like it. They're competing. The Carolina Panthers are at the Atlanta Falcons. For now, I'm Kevin Casey. So long for now.
As Kevin mentioned, Chuba Hubbard is out this week. The second-year rusher did not practice all week due to an ankle injury. The run game by committee approach will be in full effect this week to replace what Hubbard has contributed. Hubbard with 709 yards rushing and 6 TDs in 24 games since the Panthers drafted him in the 4th round in 2021. Last week he had 9 carries for 63 yards, his best game averaging 7 yards per carry. Rookie Raheem Blackshear also will be in the mix this week. Now, whenever we hit the road, we get out in the community to see what to eat, see, and do. We went to an iconic place to get a taste of the ATL. We're at one of the most popular landmarks here in the city of Atlanta, Mary Mac's Tea Room. Legendary, a lot of history here, and absolutely great food.
Hi. How you doing, Mr. Smith? Good to see you. Welcome to Mary Mac's.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Fantastic place.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys coming in.
A lot of history here.
There's a lot of history here. Mary McKenzie opened the restaurant back in 1945 in this very building. Now, this building today sits as a 13,000 square foot restaurant, still serving the same recipes 77 years later. She lost her husband in World War II. So the one thing she knew how to do to raise her 2 children were to cook. And back then, it was actually looked down upon for women to own taverns or restaurants. But back then, women had meeting rooms. And so what she did to go get her business license, she called it a tea room. And it started with one room. So this is the Atlanta room, and this is the very first Mary Mac's, is right through these doors. The entire restaurant was in this room, the kitchen, the dish room, and also the dining room. And if you come in here, you can see this was the size of the restaurant. Again, we sit now with 7 dining rooms. We have not changed any of the recipes in 77 years. We were actually declared by the Georgia House of Representatives as Atlanta's dining room.
Wow.
We have a lot of celebrities that come through. We've had anybody from James Brown to the Dalai Lama. Charles Barkley was just here quite recently, and Cam Newton comes in quite often also with his family. So
They need crackers and bread.
well, welcome to Mary Mac's Kitchen, where all the magic is held.
Wow, it's busy back here.
It sure is. You know, this kitchen takes up to 20 chefs at a time to run it on a busy night. Our signature dish is obviously our Southern fried chicken. Same recipe again, 77 years old. We actually recently was on the show called The Talk. We got the trophy for first place for the nation's best fried chicken. Every single table is going to get a beautiful basket of fresh bread. We hand cut every cinnamon roll, every yeast roll, and every piece of cornbread is made from scratch. We also have a very big sweet tooth here. We have a traditional peach cobbler, a bread pudding. We also have a banana pudding that is phenomenal. We are very busy. We serve over 10,000 guests every single week with the annual sales of $10 million plus. We do reservations, but not on the weekend. It's first come, first serve, so you're on your own when you come in on the weekend. Well, I think I've done enough talking.
I'm getting hungry.
It is time to get you filled up. I told you I was done talking. Here's the masterpiece. There we go. That is the masterpiece. That is our 4-piece chicken there with some peach cobbler. You got some fresh collard greens. You got a little sweet potato casserole. You are going to sit back and enjoy. And I got my hand truck in the back ready to wheel you out of here when you're done. All right? Enjoy.
This is some legendary food in front of me. Always talked about from way back in Atlanta, and now I get a chance to really enjoy it. Crisp to perfection. Stay with us. We're coming back on the Carolina Football Report. Antonio Ramos with his analysis of the Falcons.
At Heslop Wealth Advisors, our goal is to help small businesses develop quality retirement plans for their employees through our Lunch and Learn seminars. We provide lunch and learning tools to help your company succeed and unmatched customer service.
Welcome back to the Carolina Football Report on ADSN, home of your favorite magazine show, Chopping It Up with Buck, now airing every Friday on ESPN Radio. Be sure to check out every engaging episode, also on our flagship site, ADSN1.com. The Atlanta Falcons come into today's game looking to stop the momentum for the Carolina Panthers as they try to move into first place. One weapon they'll be using is a quarterback, Marcus Mariota, who has struggled at times in the pocket but has found answers with his feet. Mariota is his team's third leading rusher behind starting running back Tyler Algier. Algier is in the starting lineup recently because top rusher Cordarrelle Patterson has been on IR with a knee injury, so the Falcons will still be without their top rusher, who contributed 340 yards on 58 carries and 3 TDs before going down. He also reeled in 4 receptions for 28 yards. Let's check it with ADSN's Antonio Ramos with more analysis on the Falcons.
New week, new opportunities for this hungry Carolina Panthers team that is playing full of energy and discipline under coach Steve Wilks. The team is building momentum in an open race for the NFC South throne as they sit a win away of the first place. The Falcons offense has shown ups and downs during the season. They have the second worst passing offense in the league right now with 151 passing net yards per game, but also they have shown commitment running the ball with 156 rushing yards per game. That's the 4th best in the NFL. We see a lot of read options with Marcus Mariota. Panthers defense need to be very disciplined at the point of attack and make their reads properly to limit this Falcons running game, which is very versatile. Last week, they did a fantastic job limiting Leonard Fournette to less than 40 total yards. Derek Brown is playing outstanding, and defensive tackle Matt Ioannidis will be back this week after missing a game to a concussion. Guys on the edge like Brian Burns and Yetur Gross-Matos, maybe Marquis Haynes too, they need to contain the outside and don't let Mariota bounce to the outside of the tackles. Again, be very disciplined and read your keys properly will be one of the priorities to stop the Falcons running game in this game. Panthers defense will also have J.C. Horn back after missing 2 games with a ribs injury. With Horn, you can play more man-to-man cover and press coverages and rotate one of the safeties in the box so you can stop the run with more guys. Horn will be a huge factor today when facing players like Kyle Pitts or Drake London, two big-bodied pass catchers that have struggled a little bit during the season. They can be dangerous any day. Winning on third down is another key for the victory. Falcons offense is ranked 5th in the NFL with 44% on third down efficiency. And Panthers defense is 15th in the league, allowing teams for another set of downs in 40% of their third down plays. So be physical, be disciplined, control the line of scrimmage, win the third down battle, and stop the run will give this Panthers team a shot of getting the third win of the season and take control of the NFC South.
You can't drive to victory for Carolina without playing a complete game. Well, let's take a look at the 3 keys to this game. P.J. Walker spreading the wealth in the passing game early against a depleted Atlanta secondary. Make Mariota very uncomfortable in the pocket, having to use his feet to get away. And the Panthers defense needs to force takeaways and try to convert to scores throughout. So we're set for Carolina going against the Falcons on the road. Make sure you stay tuned to ADSN1.com for all the news and updates throughout the game. Also keep check on social media. We'll keep you updated throughout. Stay with us.